Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead, and today we will discuss very important current affair of 3rd and 4th of January 2021. So you can see here the two best images of the day, but today we will discuss 10 to 11 very important and the most important current affairs of 3rd and 4th of January 2021. But before proceeding, I want to discuss about Affairs Cloud subscription, that you can buy our Affairs Cloud current affair PDF with two methods. You can visit our website, that is affairscloud.com/current affair, or you can directly go to the description box of this video. Under the description box, we put a link, and by clicking on that link, you can directly reach the subscription area. And what you will get in the subscription, you will get daily wise PDF, and in the daily wise PDF section, you will get two PDFs. One is related to theoretical current affairs of particular day, and second is question and answer format of current affairs of particular day. Next is weekly PDF, all the current affairs arranged according to week so that you can revise very easily. Next is weekly test. It is very important to evaluate yourself so that you can revise and retain the current affair for long time period. Next is guys monthly PDF section, and it is the most important section because in the monthly PDF section we are providing you 5 PDFs. One is related to study PDF. It means all the theoretical current affairs will be provided to you under this PDF. Next is question and answer PDF. It means all the theoretical current affairs will be provided to you in the form of question and answer. So that you can revise the current affair very easily. Next is pocket PDF, as the name suggests that you can revise the current affair very quickly before your exam. Next section is the banking, finance and economy PDF, as the name again suggests that it is very useful for those aspirants who are preparing for any type of the banking exam like RBI, SBI, IBPS or any type of the insurance exam. Next is the top 100 current affairs. It means top 100 current affairs of particular month will be provided to you under this PDF, and this PDF also provided in the form of question and answer because you can revise and retain for long time period in the format of the question and answer. And guys, these subscription, it means these all things comes under one subscription, and on that subscription we are providing you 10% extra discount. You can also see here that you can use this code ASH10. By using this code, you will get the 10% extra discount on that minimal cost. So let's start today's current affair, that is 3rd and 4th January 2021. But before starting, you have to like this video and share this video. And please guys, subscribe this channel. And we are starting our first section, that is the most important question section. Here is our first question. Maitri Setu bridge was recent in news. This bridge will connect India and which country? So you have to tell me that this bridge will connect India and which country. Mark under the most important section, and you can pause the video before my answer so that you can check that you are right or wrong. And answer is very simple. Answer is Bangladesh. So answer is D, guys. Remember, answer is D, and it will connect India and Bangladesh. And from Indian side, it will connect the Tripura state. Remember, it will connect the Tripura state. You can also see here Tripura and Bangladesh, Maitri Setu, all set to open a new horizon. You can also see here this Maitri Setu will connect the South Tripura with Ramgarh of the Bangladesh and provides access to Chittagong seaport. It is all set to be opened in a few months, and it means in the coming weeks or the months you will basically see that this seaport is now opened. Currently the new and the only trade access point is the northeastern state is the Haldia port, that is situated in the West Bengal, and covering road distance of almost 600 km to 1200 km. But by this Maitri Setu bridge, and when this will be opened, this will reduce the distance from 75 km to 600 km for all northeastern state. It means almost 600 km distance will be reduced if you want to trade with the northeastern state. This is the main initiative of the Indian government and the Bangladesh government, and very good initiative for the northeastern state. And you all knows there are 7 states which are known as the northeastern states and also known as the 7 sisters, known as Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Manipur, Tripura and Nagaland. So these are the 7 states, or you can remember by easy acronym, that is known as M cube A square and T. That is Meghalaya, Mizoram, Manipur, Arunachal, Assam, Nagaland and Tripura. So what about Tripura? Tripura is, you have to remember, Chief Minister is Biplab Kumar Dev, capital is Agartala and Governor is Ramesh Kumar Bais. So remember the Chief Minister and the capital. And guys, remember there are 2 national parks in Tripura. Very important. One is the Clouded Leopard National Park. Many students mark Himachal Pradesh as answer, but Himachal Pradesh is wrong. Clouded Leopard National Park is in Tripura. And one is Rajbari National Park. Remember, Rajbari National Park is also in Tripura. Now we are moving to next question. who won Best Performing State in Annual Award for Excellence in Implementation of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban Mission. Mark under the most important section, and there are three categories. One is related to the overall state, second category is related to the UT, third category is related to northeastern states and the hilly areas. So in the category of the simple states, answer is Uttar Pradesh. So mark the answer A right, and the students who are thinking Uttar Pradesh, they are very much right. You can also see here the best performing UT is Puducherry. Remember, best performing UT is Puducherry. Best performing northeastern region and the hilly state is Tripura. So if the examiner is asking about the state, then answer is Uttar Pradesh, and second rank goes to the Madhya Pradesh, third rank goes to the Andhra Pradesh. But if the examiner is asking about UT in the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban, then it is Puducherry. And if they are asking about the northeastern region and hilly state combinedly, then answer should be Tripura. There are more other categories, like you can see here. Best performing municipal corporation is there, that is Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. And next is the best performing municipal corporation, again northeastern and the hilly areas, it is Agartala, Tripura. Again Tripura is there. Best performing municipal council, it is Mirzapur. You can remember this Mirzapur by the serial name of Mirzapur. Next, best performing municipal council, again northeastern and the hilly, it is in Manipur, Thaubal. And you can also remember from the Manipur that best police station also in the Manipur. You have to give me answer in the comment box that which is the police station which is ranked 1 by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Next, best performing Nagar Panchayat, it is Malihabad in Uttar Pradesh. Best performing Nagar Panchayat, again in the northeastern hilly state, it is Dineshpur, Uttarakhand. But you have to only remember these three things very importantly. One is the state, second is UT, third is the northeastern region and the hilly state. I am repeating again, state is UP, UT is Puducherry, and northeastern region and the hilly area Tripura. You can also see the next picture here, that Pradhan Mantri or the Prime Minister launched or inaugurated or laying the foundation stone of lighthouse project in the 6 areas, or you can say the 6 states. One is in Tripura, Agartala. Second is Jharkhand, Ranchi. Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Rajkot, Gujarat, and Chennai in the Tamil Nadu. So you have to remember, the Pradhan Mantri Modi ji virtually laid this foundation of 6 lighthouse projects. Remember, 6 lighthouse projects. These will be developed as a part of the Global Housing Technology Challenge India initiative, under which 1,000, remember this is important, 1,000 lighthouses at each location are be constructed in a year using 6 distinct technology related to the housing construction center. So there are two things which are important in this question. One is the lighthouse project. Second, how many lighthouse projects will be laid within a 1 year? There will be 1,000 lighthouses. So remember this. Again, it is very important. Don't remember these 6 places because there will be 1,000. So no need to remember this. So one important thing under this question is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban. Under this Yojana or under this initiative, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban 2015. Remember, the year is 2015. Under this, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban launched, and 1.09 crore houses, it means approximately 1.10 crore houses had been sanctioned against the demand of 1.12 crore. It means 1.10 crore houses will be constructed under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban. 40 lakh houses handed over to the beneficiaries, and 70 lakh more houses were under construction. That's why the year of 2019-20 was declared as the construction technology year. Again, one more important thing, 2019-20 year is declared as construction technology year. So remember these things. These are very important things you have to remember, guys. And Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, you all know that comes under the Hardeep Singh Puri ji. Now we are moving to next question. Which country will co-chair the International Union for Conservation of Nature Spotted Asia Protected Area Partnership? And mark under the most important, because we are talking about the co-chairmanship. It means the chairmanship goes to the IUCN, that is Conservation of Nature, International Union for Conservation of Nature. But co-chair of this committee or this organization will be one of the member of Asia Protected Area Partnership. So in simple word, you can say which country will co-chair this IUCN spotted program known as the Asia Protected Area Partnership. And answer is very simple, India. And India will replace South Korea in November 2021. Because in November 2021, South Korea time period of 3 years ended and India time period of 3 years will be started. So India will co-chair this meeting. You can also see here, India to be co-chaired of Regional Forum to conserve wildlife habitat. This organization is formed by the IUCN for the wildlife, for the conservation of the wildlife habitats. You can also see here, India is all set to co-chair the International Union for Conservation of Nature, spotted Asia's Protected Area Partnership, a regional forum to conserve wildlife habitats for the 3 years. It means from 2021 to 2024, India will chair this meeting, and India will replace the South Korea till the South Korea will co-chair this meeting till November, but after that India will co-chair this, because APAP, that is Asia Protected Areas Partnership, chaired by IUCN Asia, but it is co-chaired by one of the member country of APAP, and total member countries are 17, but total members are 21, because some of the organizations of these countries are also member of this organization. And APAP launched at the IUCN World Parks Congress in Australia in 2014. It is a platform that enables collaboration to help governments and other stakeholders for more effective management of the protected area or to conserve the wildlife habitat. So main initiative of the IUCN and this program, Asia Protected Areas Partnership, is to conserve the natural habitat. You can also see here where is the headquarter of IUCN. You can see in the satellite view or the map view that IUCN International Union for Conservation Nature, and this area is Gland. It means we are talking about Switzerland. Remember, where is the headquarter of IUCN? IUCN headquarter is in Gland. And remember, with the IUCN, we are basically covering all protected areas under Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So all things comes under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, and that's why we started the Project Tiger in 1973. Remember this. Now we are moving to next question. Who became the richest person of Asia according to Bloomberg Billionaires Index? And guys, mark it the most important, because now Mukesh Ambani is not the richest person of Asia. Remember this, Mukesh Ambani is not the richest person of Asia according to Bloomberg's Billionaire Index. And now the richest person of Asia is Zhahong. Remember, Zhahong Shanshan. Remember this name, because you have to remember this for your examination. Zhahong Shanshan is currently the richest person of Asia, and Mukesh Ambani ranks goes to 12th, and he becomes the Asia's second richest person, but all over world ranking is 12th, and Zhahong ranking is 11th. You can also see here, Mukesh Ambani no longer Asia's richest man, Bloomberg's Billionaire Index. You can also see here, the richest person is Jeff Bezos all over world, and second is Elon Musk, but the Mukesh Ambani you can see is on the 12th position. And this Zhahong Shanshan belongs to China, and he basically started a water bottling company. Now the business is diversified, but you have to remember the name Zhahong Shanshan belongs to China, becomes the Asia's richest person. You can also see here, Zhahong Shanshan, referred as the lone wolf, has replaced Ambani as the Asia's richest person. He is one of the fastest in the history to achieve this feat. So remember this. And according to Huron Global Rich List, which is released in December 2020, Mukesh Ambani has also dropped to the 8th position in the Huron Global Rich List. And in this list, again, Jeff Bezos has become the richest person according to the Huron Global Rich List. Remember, he is currently the president of Amazon, and he is also the founder and CEO of the Amazon. So you have to remember two things under this question. One is the Bloomberg's Billionaire Index. Ambani's rank is 12th, and in the Huron Global Rich List, Ambani's rank is 8th. This is again most important thing. Now moving to next question. Who is appointed as the new chairman and CEO of the Railway Board? Most important question, because last year in 2020, first CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Railway Board was appointed, and this person was VK Yadav. But now a new appointment takes place, and he replaced VK Yadav, and name is Suneet Sharma. So answer of this question is very simple. Answer is Suneet Sharma. Mark this answer right. You can see the picture of the Suneet Sharma appointed as the new chairman and CEO of the Railway Board. But if the examiner is asking first chairman of the Railway Board, then answer should be VK Yadav, first chairman, and currently is the Suneet Sharma. You can also see here Vineet Agarwal. He is currently the chairman of ASSOCHAM. Remember this. Umesh Sinha, he become the one of the Deputy Commissioner of Election Commission of India. You can also remember this. So you can see here. Now next question. Who became India's 67th chess grandmaster after winning his third and final norm at the Viragni Cup, Italy? So you have to remember one more important thing under this question, that is Viragni Cup is related to chess. This is again one question under one question. Remember this. And who became the 67th chess grandmaster? Because in 2020 July, 66th grandmaster was announced, and he was Akash from Chennai. Remember, he was Akash from Chennai and he was the 66th chess grandmaster of India. But in 2021, again, one Indian recorded as the 67th chess grandmaster, and he belongs to Goa. He belongs to Goa, and he is the second from Goa who become the chess grandmaster. And guys, remember the answer of this question is Leon Mendonca. Remember Leon Mendonca, or you can remember just the Leon. You can see the picture of Leon. He is just 14 years old. Leon Mendonca becomes India's 67th grandmaster, winning the third and final non-matter tournament in Italy, and name of the tournament is Viragni. You can also see here Mendonca is only second grandmaster from Goa. First was a girl, little girl, Ivana Maria Furtado, and she achieved this feat in 2011. She was the first grandmaster from the Goa, Ivana Maria Furtado. You can also remember. And the Sergey Karjakin from Russia holds the record of world youngest ever grandmaster, having qualified for the title at the age of 12 years and 7 months. Very short age. You can remember, very young age, 12 years and 7 months. He qualified as the world youngest ever grandmaster who qualified at the age of 12 years and 7 months. Remember the name, Sergey Karjakin. And he became the 29th youngest grandmaster in the world. You have to remember about the Leon. And he belongs to Goa. So remember the name Leon Mendonca. And guys, but about the International Chess Federation, president is Arkady Dvorkovich, and headquarters is in Lausanne, Switzerland. Again, IUCN headquarters is in Gland, Switzerland, and International Chess Federation headquarters is in Lausanne, Switzerland. And who is the 66th grandmaster of India? 66th is Akash from Chennai. And guys, can you tell me who is the first grandmaster from India? Who is the first grandmaster from India? You have to tell me only in the comment box. Who is the first grandmaster of India? I am giving you hint that he achieved this grandmaster title in 1988. That is so much old, 1988. Now we are moving to next section. That is the very important question section. Here is our first question. What is the name of the e-commerce portal which was recently unveiled by the Khadi and Village Industry Commission, so that they can promote the Khadi industry and the Khadi products of the rural areas, and they can improve the livelihood of the rural area, and especially for the women's? And answer is very simple. You can pause the video and match answer with me. Answer is ekhadiindia.com. Answer is C, guys. Remember, answer is C. You can also see here ministries, Khadi arm, that is Khadi Village Industries Commission launches e-commerce portal khadiindia.com. And this Khadi Village Industry Commission comes under the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. And who is the Minister of Union Minister of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises? That is Nitin Gadkari ji. Also the Minister of Road and Transport. Remember, ekhadiindia.com. Now you can also see here, this is a first of its kind government online shopping platform to enhance rural economy and promote self-reliance, so that this Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative can be focused. So the website features about 50,000 products under the 500 variation, so that they can also promote the tribal category. So the portal features product with the authentic Khadi trademark, so that the originality can be placed on the website. So this is most important thing that Khadi India basically started. So it is just to promote the rural economy and promote the self-reliance. So it is just for the Atmanirbhar Bharat. So remember this Khadi Village Industry Commission. Where is the headquarter of this commission? Headquarter is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Who is the chairman? Chairman is Vinay Kumar Saxena. But it is not important. You can remember Vinay Kumar Saxena if you can. But otherwise it is not so much important. Now we are moving to next question. Indian Army and which company will produce 12 patrol boats for Pangong Lake in eastern Ladakh? So first question under this question is, where is Pangong Lake is situated? Pangong Lake is very beautiful lake, and it is basically near about the China border in the Ladakh area. And one shipyard company is tie up with the Indian Army to produce 12 patrol boats, so that they can check the invasion of the China. And answer is very simple, guys. Answer is D. And if you are thinking about it, then you are definitely right. Goa Shipyard Limited. You can also see here Indian Army deal with the Goa Shipyard produced 12 patrol boats for surveillance of the Pangong Lake. You can also see here, this is the picture of 26th June of 2020. This is the picture of 10th June of 2020. In June, you can see here the construction of China. Some construction is here. But after 10 July or on the 10 July, you can see here, there is no construction of China. So there is a need of surveillance around the Pangong Lake. So to surveillance, we are tying up with the Indian Navy and the Goa shipyard so that 12 patrol boats can be deployed on that area, so that maximum to maximum surveillance and the security can be enhanced around the Pangong Lake. So this is very important lake, Pangong Lake. So remember, this 12 patrol boats will be built by which shipyard company? It is Goa Shipyard Company. Nothing important in this news, but only remember these things. Next question, who has signed an MOU with Deen Dayal Antyodaya National Rural Livelihood Mission for undertaking economic support program to boost the livelihood of tribal people? I am adding and I am basically enhancing this question for you guys, that it is just to boost the livelihood of the tribal people. Now you can answer very easily because I am expanded this question to the tribal question. So you can answer very simply. Answer is TriFed. Remember, answer is TriFed because TriFed means Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India. It is basically a commercial wing of Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and Ministry of Tribal Affairs comes under the Arjun Munda ji. You have to remember this. And this initiative, like National Rural Livelihood Mission, it is an initiative of Ministry of Rural Development, and Ministry of Rural Development comes under Narendra Singh Tomar ji, who is currently the Agriculture Minister of India, Narendra Singh Tomar ji. And they signed this agreement with the Deen Dayal Antyodaya National Rural Livelihood Mission so that they can undertake economic support programs to boost the livelihood of you can say the tribal population of the country and women self-help groups. You can also see here this TriFed signed MOU with the Deen Dayal Upadhyay National Rural Livelihood Mission for rural employment to foster tribal livelihood development through the synergies. It means they can showcase the tribal products and they can enhance the income of the tribal areas. You can see here the two organizations agreed to work together to achieve the goal of enhancing the livelihood tribal beneficiary and especially in the women in India. So TriFed will enroll the self-help group or the farmer producer organization with majority tribal member to enable sale of their products in online platform as well as the offline network, so that their income can be enhanced and their livelihood or their you can say the living standard can be increased. They also provide the training and capacity building program so that they can produce the products in the better quantity and the quality. So this is the main purpose of this TriFed and the National Rural Livelihood Mission. Remember, National Rural Livelihood Mission comes under the Union Minister of Rural Development, who is currently Narendra Singh Tomar. And TriFed head office is in New Delhi, who is the currently managing director of TriFed, that is Praveer Krishna. You can remember, but it is again not so much important. Praveer Krishna. Moving to next question. Which UT signed an MOU with National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India Limited, that is NAFED, for marketing the horticulture produce? It means this UT will do some marketing with the help of NAFED for horticulture produce like vegetables, fruits, and the specially occurred fruits and the vegetables in the Jammu and Kashmir area. It means answer is D. You can also see here Jammu and Kashmir UT administration signs historic MOU with the NAFED so that they can promote the specially apple, walnut and the cherry production and the other horticulture produce all over India. So this is basically specialty of the NAFED. They can promote these type of the horticulture produce from the Jammu and Kashmir. You can see here the agreement will give a major thrust of marketing the horticulture produce. NAFED and the Jammu and Kashmir government will work on branding and marketing of fruit crops, especially you can see here apple, walnut and the cherry, which is specially produced in the Jammu and Kashmir, and establishment of market linkages for exotic fruits, vegetable, non-seasonal vegetables and flowers in the metro cities of India. For this, the government is also setting up 3 cold storages. One is the North Kashmir, South Kashmir and one is in Kathua. And the government is also spending 500 crore rupees. So the here UT is very important, Jammu and Kashmir. You all know who is the Lieutenant Governor or the Lieutenant Governor, Manoj Kumar Sinha. Remember Manoj Kumar Sinha. And guys, remember the national parks in Jammu and Kashmir, very important. Dachigam National Park, very important national park, Dachigam National Park. Gulmarg Wildlife Sanctuary, this is very easy, Gulmarg Wildlife Sanctuary. Kishtwad, this is again important, Kishtwad National Park. There is a, you have to remember Salim Ali National Park, Salim Ali National Park. So Dachigam National Park, Gulmarg National Park, Kishtwad National Park, Salim Ali National Park, or you can remember Kazi Nag National Park. You can also remember Kazi Nag, Kazing, Kazi Nag National Park. So these are very famous national parks in Jammu and Kashmir. Now we are moving to next question. So in this question you have to remember horticulture produce Jammu and Kashmir, one is NAFED. These two things or three things are important under this question. Now we are moving to next question. Recently, which organization became an associate member of the International Organization of Securities Commission, IOSCO? Guys, it is a very important question because this organization was established in 2020 by the Act of 2019. And the organization is very, very important because the organization headquarter is important and organization first president is also important. So I am telling you the president of this organization, first chairman or the president of this organization is Injeti Srinivas. Now you can guess what is the name of the organization. The name of the organization is IFSCA. It means International Financial Services Center Authority. This is a unified authority for regulating all the financial activities at International Financial Service Center in India, and its headquarters is in Gandhinagar. And now this organization become the member of International Organization for Securities Commission. It means this membership will support IFSCA with a platform to exchange information at global level and regional level in the fields of common interest, because this IOSCO is an international organization which unites all the security regulators of approximately 95% of the world countries. Remember, 95% countries, they are combining with the security market. This is so much important. So remember IFSCA. You can also see here IFSCA becomes the associate member of IOSCO. You can also see here the first chairman is the Injeti Srinivas. This organization was established in 2020. Where is the headquarters? Gandhinagar. It is also known as the Gift City. And remember, International Organization for Security Commission is an international organization which sets the global standards for the security market regulation. And this International Financial Center of India becomes the member of this all over world security market regulation member. And this membership will support International Financial Center of India with a platform to exchange information at the global level. So remember, IFSCA is unified authority for regulating all the financial activities at International Financial Service Center in India. So this is very important question. The most important thing here is Injeti Srinivas and headquarters is in Gandhinagar. This question will definitely come. Now, next question. RuPay partnered with which bank to launch an innovative payment solution for Indian merchant that is known as RuPay POS, point of sale machine, in association with Pay Nearby? It means this point of sale machine is not a physical machine. Basically, this will be set up in the mobile phone of the retail merchants so that they can use this their mobile phone as a point of sale machine and can do the transactions. And this bank is RBL Bank. Remember, RBL Bank. You can also see here RuPay partners with the RBL Bank to launch RuPay POS. RuPay POS, and it is with the Pay Nearby, and this is announced by National Payment Corporation of India. You can also see here this collaboration will transform the smartphones into merchant point of sale terminals for the retailers, enabling them to accept contactless payment through their mobile phones of up to rupees 5,000 with a single tap and pay mechanism to his near field communication enabled mobile phones. It means they don't need any point of sale physical machine. They can use their smartphones and convert them into point of sale machine. And they can do the transaction up to rupees 5,000 without any point of sale physical machines. The biggest benefit of this solution to any Indian micro, or you can say the medium enterprises, especially for the local stores or the Kirana stores and the stores which are located in the remote areas. Now they can do the payments with their mobile phones. And remember about RBL Bank, what is the tagline? Apno Ka Bank. Headquarters is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Who is the MD and CEO? Vishwavir Ahuja. Vishwavir Ahuja. Remember the tagline? Apno Ka Bank. Now moving to next question. Which year has been set up as the base year as the RBI for digital payment index? Because digital payments trends basically now started in 2017-18. So what is the base year which was recently announced by RBI for the digital payment index? Because RBI will launch the digital payment index every year. Even they can launch this index with the monetary policy report. They can also release this index with the monthly or bi-monthly monetary policy report. So what will be the base year of this report or the digital payment index? Base year will be the 2018. Remember, answer should be C. You can also see here RBI unveiled the digital payment index and capture the extent of digitalization of payment across the country because of demonetization, because of GST, and because of the COVID-19. You can see the maximum digitalization comes in India because India was so much involved in the cash payments, but now India is basically converting into digitalization. You can also see under this. For this index, RBI set up base year 2018 and this digital payment index score for March 2018 is set to 100. And for the March 2019, it increased to 153.47. It means almost 53.47 increase. And in March 2020, it scored 207.84, representing growth. It means so much growth in the digitalization sector, and you can say the digitalization. The most important thing under this question are the deputy governors of RBI, because this M. Rajeshwar Rao recently appointed in October because this position was vacant. Now all the 4 positions of deputy governors are filled. Bibhu Prasad Kango, Mahesh Kumar Jain, Michelle Debapatra and M. Rajeshwar Rao. So remember this. Moving to next section, guys, it is important question section. Here is our first question. Asian Development Bank and Government of India signed USD 231 million loan agreement to enhance power generation capacity in which state? Recently, Asian Development Bank also signed to improve the power generation capacity in Meghalaya. Now the state is Assam. Remember, the answer is Assam. You can also see here Asian Development Bank signs this MOU to enhance the power generation capacity in Assam, especially the hydroelectric project of Kopili River, especially for the Kopili River, and both are generating. Government of India and this Asian Development Bank is producing 120 megawatt of the hydroelectric power plant of the Kopili River. Remember this Kopili River, it is in Assam. And remember about Assam, capital is Dispur, Chief Minister is Sarbananda Sonowal and Governor is Jagdish Mukhi. And remember Raimona National Park, it is the 6th national park which are recently included in the Assam National Park list. Other national parks are Kaziranga National Park, very important, Manas National Park, again Dibru-Sakhova National Park, and also the Biosphere Reserve. Out of 18 Biosphere Reserve, 1 Biosphere Reserve in Assam, very important. Nameri National Park is also in Assam. Remember these national parks, these are very important. Now moving to one-liner important points. One is the Prime Minister lays the foundation of 6 lighthouse project, we already covered. Next is the Bharat Electronics Limited signs contract with the Indian Navy for supply of indigenously developed laser dazzlers. So the most important thing under this point is laser dazzlers. These laser dazzler is a non-lethal weapon for warning and stopping suspicious vehicles, boats, aircrafts and unmanned aerial vehicles. It means drones. This product has been designed and developed indigenously for the first time for the armed forces, and it will be developed by the DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization. And who is the head of this organization? G. Satish Reddy. Where is the headquarter? New Delhi. Remember this. Next, GRCE delivers 8th and final ship of Mk4 class INLCU L58 to Indian Navy. Again, not so much important, but you can remember this name if you can read INLCU L58 to Indian Navy. GRCE stands for Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineer Limited, Calcutta, West Bengal, delivered this LCU. LCU stands for Landing Craft Utility Mk4 class vessel INLCU L58, that is Yard 2099, to the Indian Navy. The ship will serve in the Andaman and Nicobar Command, which is India's first and only tri-service command. And remember, this LCU L58 is the final ship in the series of 8 LCU which is manufactured by GRSC for the Indian Navy. So you can remember just GRSC, headquarter of GRSC is in West Bengal. Next is Tripura Bangladesh Maitri Setu. We already covered this question. Army inks 12 patrol boats for the surveillance of Pangong Lake in the Ladakh, and this is with the Goa shipyard. Next, Goa 14-year-old Leon Mendoka becomes the India's 67th chess grandmaster. We already covered the 66th, Akash from Chennai. Now we are moving to 1st and Jan 2021 answer. And here was the question: who recently became the youngest mayor of India on December 2020? And answer was very simple, and all the answer which are basically placed in the comment box are right, and 100% answers are right. This is very much proud of Arya Rajendran. Remember, the answer is Arya Rajendran, and guys, this is very proud moment because 100% answers are right. Arya Rajendran, and remember, she become the mayor of Kerala capital, that is Thiruvananthapuram, just 21 years old. She is just 21-year-old, and she belongs to CPI party, Marxist, Communist Party of India, Marxist. Arya Rajendran. And you can see here very interesting answer given by 3 persons. because all the answers are correct, but these three answers give details. Arya Chandran become the youngest mayor of Trivandrum, Kerala, 21-year-old party CPM. These three things are very important, and it is given by Senehal. And second answer is given by Shubham. Arya Rajendran, 21, Trivandrum, Kerala, youngest mayor, Kerala CM is Pinarayi Vijayan, Governor Arif Mohammad Khan. Again, extra detail. Next, Arya Rajendran, again Kerala, she will be the third woman and the first youngest all over the CPM to head urban local government in the capital. Again, one more extra information. So these are very important, because if you are giving the extra information, it means many people can benefit from this extra information. So guys, this is for last question, but now we are moving to the question of the day. Here is the question of the day. Which was the only authorized bank in India to issue the electoral bond as December 2020? And you have to answer from these 5 options, and you have to answer only in the comment box, because I am evaluating your answer and checking that who is answering daily. And guys, this is all for today. You have to do one thing, that you have to provide us like, that is 700 plus likes. If you are providing 700 plus likes, it means we are giving you more videos on the different contents. And please subscribe our channel, because it is very important to provide motivation. So guys, and you have to press this bell button so that you can receive the notification on time. And it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section. And it is my personal promise that if you're watching the videos regularly, and if you're reading the PDFs from our PDF section, then your current affairs section will definitely go strong, because 90% of the current affairs which are coming in exam are covered by Affairs Cloud. This is trustworthy and the very reputed website all over India, and you can trust with your full mind and your full heart on us. So guys, this is the genuinity of Affairs Cloud. So thank you guys for watching this video. Don't take life so much serious. Always be happy. Take care. Bye-bye.